Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is the morning show, Stock Market TV. You know the drill. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso with you this morning. We got to talk about some of the reactions to this spending bill out of, I guess you could say, out of Congress, out of Washington and the White House and Congress, and there are some real ramifications to that this morning in the market. We will discuss. Shout out solar. Yikes. What else is on our radar? We're going to have Scott Redler on the show today. It's always good to talk to Scott. We'll have Sean McLaughlin on the show, talk to Sean about whatever options trades he's making or not making, what strategies he's using or not using right now. And that's the deal. So let's go ahead and bring the guys on. JC is back in the saddle. We missed him yesterday. Chat, are y'all here? Yes, everyone is good. Get me some likes. I'd appreciate that. It does help in the eyes of the all-powerful YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. Are you guys ready? I'm bringing you on. I hope you're ready.
Oh, man. Spencer Israel talking about government bills.
Oh,
Gross.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
tell me why, as an investor, as somebody who takes his life seriously, why should I give a shit about some random bill? Did it pass? Did this bill pass or not pass? What's the problem?
Just pass the House.
I don't really care, but I do care when I wake up and I see Sunrun and other solar stocks getting like destroyed this morning, right? Like absolutely crushed.
Isn't it just another day for solar stocks? I mean, I know we had a nice little bounce. Strazza had like a 10x on the first solar or whatever it was. It's great, but isn't this like par for the course for these guys?
Things were looking up. I mean,
I mean,
still looks like a lot of exhaustion here when I look at these charts, but we'll see how today goes.
Bitcoin all-time highs. I don't know. Does anybody care? No big deal. Man, if I would have told you a year ago.
We care.
Hold on. If I would have told you a year ago, a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, that Bitcoin would be at 111,000 and nobody gives a shit and they're busy talking about some stupid bill, you wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah. We bought more Maricalls yesterday. You know, I was feeling good yesterday. We were making so much fucking money out here. And then these politicians, man, I wish they would just do less.
These politicians politicking. How can they do less? How's that possible?
They should really do less. Imagine if they did less, how good that would be.
I think they do not do a lot. I think that's kind of
the answer here. I'm pretty sure that's the MO is to do less.
No, less than this. Yeah, Sunrun's down 40%. Holy cow.
Dude, how about that poor lady from Qatar, like interviewing Elon Musk, and she's just getting abused? Oh my god!
I didn't watch.
He was like trying to be nice, but she was like really like, you know, I think she's mentally challenged. Clearly, like he was saying things, and then she would just ignore him and then go on to the next question. He's like, it's like talking to a robot.
You know,
I didn't see
you made it when somebody gifts you a $400 million plane.
I guess they gave it to the Department of Defense.
Sure.
They gave it to America.
Great.
You know, like Paris, for example, gave the United States the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, that's definitely the same thing.
Yes.
Well, the difference is the United States was broke. So the French gave us the Statue of Liberty, and we couldn't even build it because we didn't have any money. So like Americans were like mailing in like pennies and like dimes to like afford to build it. You know that? You know the story?
Boeing should be embarrassed.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah, all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dow futures down $1.72 this morning, 41,776, below 42,000. So something to watch there. S&P 500 futures 5840, down 18 handles. It's about less than 1/3%. To the downside, and the Nasdaq leading the way this morning, only down 20 bips. That's 44 points to the downside. 30-year bond futures, man, these bonds, bro. Man, these bonds are getting smoked. Isn't it hilarious that interest rates only started to go up as soon as the Federal Reserve decided to start lowering interest rates? Isn't that hilarious? Crude oil futures back under 61, down 1.3%. Copper futures down 0.2%, 464. Gold down 0.33%, 3,300 even. Silver down 1.8%, 33 even, with the VIX back up to 21.5. Over in old funny money land. Can we get a shout out for the old Bitcoin? 111,500 for BTC. That is a new all-time high. You got Ethereum up 4%, 2650. Of course, you got the old Solana, 178, up 2.7%. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.46 trillion. How do you like me now?
Futures are rolling over here. Some big levels in play.
Can we just talk about how there are grown adults? There are grown adults in this world who have purposely chosen to not own Bitcoin and spend their days on Twitter. Making fun of Bitcoin, making fun of those who own Bitcoin, warning of this crash every day for years and years and years, when they could have just spent that time buying Bitcoin instead. And they chose not to because, listen, this is science, man. You know, when you have your head up your ass, it's impossible to see what's right in front of you, right? Like, think about it. If your head's up your ass and you can't see like what's right in front of you, right? So, like, scientifically, maybe it would behoove some of you to remove your head from your ass so that you can, in fact, see what's right in front of you. I'm no like PhD science major, but like that makes sense to me, Strazza.
There's some new crypto SPACs I'm hearing about.
Ooh, crypto SPACs. Those are like Spencer Israel's like two most cringe words right there, all in one.
It's bad. It's bad sentiment.
How bad? Tell me how bad. Tell me how bad.
It's pretty bad.
Tell me why it's so bad.
I'll tell you later. So
why can't you
I'm
tell
interested.
Me now? Tell me about the crypto SPAC. Why are you telling me later?
So throw up these charts. Here's what I'm thinking about, because you're right.
Why are we not talking about this crypto SPAC?
I'm joking. I'm making a joke. I don't know anything.
Oh, there is no crypto SPAC.
Yeah, there is. One came out yesterday. Anyway.
And the ticker symbol is?
I don't know yet.
Oh my God. Why are you being so shady this morning? Like, is it a zero? Are we shorting it?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Listen, people talk. So, Binance. We always talk about the big ones. It's really been Bitcoin. I think Solana's on its way. Ripple looks great. But here you go. This one's just leaving the station. Now I think it looks a lot more like Bitcoin soon. Thing we've always done, overlaid Binance with Coinbase. Right? They're competitors. Binance is the overseas version of Coinbase. Bang, look at that. I think Coinbase is going to break out soon too. And guess who's breaking out of a similar pattern already? Who's really made a beautiful transformation to be more of a crypto company over the trailing, I would say, 12 months now? Throw up the Robinhood. These are your crypto leaders right now, JC.
Man, right? Robinhood pushing up against those highs.
Yeah. These charts all look great. Remember when Bitcoin broke out of a base that looked like this? It kept going. I think these charts do the same soon.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I have a question. Can you throw up slide 1, Mr. Spencer Israel, please? Slide 1 there. Is Bitcoin, I'm being told, it's on the internet, so it must be true. I'm being told that Bitcoin is now a safe haven asset. Safe haven, it is now a defensive asset. I don't think so. What do you think?
No, not at all. I think it did benefit from the dollar flight story that we've seen over the trailing month or two now, but it's a speculative asset for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see anything defensive about something that moves literally tick for tick with the NASDAQ 100. Am I crazy?
So stocks are going to follow? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, we live in the United States of America, where you can do whatever you want. If you want to lose money, we encourage you to do that, right? Like that's like the American way. If you want to lose money, knock yourself out, right? If you want to make money, you can do that too, right? It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you want to believe that the orange line is moving in a different direction than the black line, it goes back to that head up your ass theory, that I was talking before. But I mean, you could bet that the relationship here is changing and there's some kind of defensive tilt to Bitcoin. I don't see any evidence of that at all. You?
I don't. Can we talk about bonds?
Ooh, who are you? Who is this guy? Throw up slide 5 and then we can talk about bonds. So I do find it to be hysterical Chart man, please, Chart Master Flex, if you could throw up slide 5. We are looking at the old US 10-year yield. That, what's hilarious is that interest rates only started to go up as soon as the Federal Reserve started lowering rates. Again, I will say that again. As soon as the Federal Reserve decided to start lowering rates, rates have gone straight up.
I mean,
Isn't
they
that
barely cut. But yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely.
right?
Is it a signal? I don't know. I think the problem with this right now is if you
This
look at
chart,
the
this
third.
chart's a few days old, by the way, but still.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's what's been going on. What is the single biggest market moving event since stocks started selling off back in March?
Market moving event?
Yep. Spencer, do you know? What data point continues to move risk assets more than anything?
Oh, I
Trump
thought
tweets. Trump tweets.
I
No.
thought you're going with
Zero.
Liberation Day was pretty much
No.
yes.
No, I'm talking about since then.
Oh, since then.
Mm-hmm. Every time something happens, something happens. 5 weeks now, 6 weeks. Who's got it in the chat? Nobody. No.
I don't know. You got me. I'm stumped.
Bond auctions.
Bond auctions. Okay, we pay attention to those now. Tell me more.
Bond auctions. That has been the single biggest market moving event for the past month and a half. Every time we auction off our treasuries, nobody wants to buy our shit anymore. Stocks get scared and sell off. Interest rates rip. Look at home builders yesterday. Look at banks. Look at any interest rate sensitive area of the market. Hit. If the 30-year breaks out of this big holding pattern, do we have a chart, TYX? You're going to get more action like yesterday's. If this little range in TLT and this fresh breakdown yesterday, if this is valid, right, and we're following through lower, more action like yesterday's.
Can you throw up slide 7 there, please? The new
No.
slide 7.
Everybody's like, oh, back to bull, the V. The bears are gone.
This is a big question. I mean, where a lot of people are talking about bonds these days. People are talking about bonds in Japan, believe it or not. They got those there. And so new highs here for the 30-year yield in Japan. And then you got the 30-year yield in the United States also making new highs. What does this mean? What does it all mean, Basil?
Rates are going up around the world. That's historically been a good signal about where rates here are going.
And so is the Federal Reserve going to stop lowering rates so that rates stop going up? Like that doesn't make any sense.
They might, JC. Like even if you go over, like look at the UK, right? You got the same thing going on, like the GB 10 breaking out of a big range too. If that's where we're headed, I don't know about stocks. Is anybody talking about this?
Yes, they
All
are.
of these multi-year ranges and interest rates are going to blast higher, and bonds are going to get absolutely slaughtered again. Are stocks going up? I don't think so.
The people talking about this the most are the gloom and doomers that have just been embarrassingly wrong for years now. They're the ones talking about this. You know how you always say, like, you never go full macro, bro? Those that went full macro, this is what they're talking about, right? Instead of buying Bitcoin, they're talking about Japanese bonds.
Well, what's going on in the bond market right now?
They're like, you will see. So like they just complain all day instead of just buying the things that are going up, right? You see how?
Yeah, but what's going on in the bond market's a lot more.
How do you think these people wake up? When they wake up in the morning, they're like, let's see. Instead of making money today, I'm just gonna bitch and complain on social media.
Rather than throw shade at bad analysis, what do you think about these ranges in interest rates? Do you want to own stocks? Do you want to be overweight risk assets if interest rates are ripping higher all across the globe?
I think if interest rates are ripping higher, then you don't want to own those bonds.
But you're good with stocks, nothing changes, right?
Yeah, I mean, if something changes and something changes, I'm just not seeing that. Here's what I will tell you.
Have you noticed the correlation between when rates rip, bonds rip lower?
Here's what I'll tell you about bonds. Here's what I'll tell you about the intermarket relationships with bonds. The stock market does not like it when interest rates move very aggressively in either direction, up or down. The stock market likes like a low volatility bond market. So when you have outsized moves in bonds, the stock market just doesn't like that. right? Because there's so
I
much
agree.
money tied into these bonds that it's going to trickle into the stock market. That's what I think. So it's not so much the direction that I'm interested as I am the rate of change of that direction.
So I'll ask you again. If we get resolutions from massive ranges, as a technician, I would think, okay, you're going to get a reaction leg, a big move. Maybe bonds are crashing. That's what I'm saying. Does this range in the 30-year breaking out make you think stocks will be under pressure?
Yeah, I mean, if it continues, but aren't we right back at that former resistance and rates? So wouldn't it be a good time to be buying bonds?
It's gapping through that level right now.
Is it? All right. Well, I guess we'll see, right? I don't trust it. It's come a long way real fast. I don't trust it. I could see a failure here and a bond ripper.
I think that would be great for stocks.
I think that would probably be pretty good for stocks too. I'm watching it. Listen, I don't
I
know
think
what's going to happen,
I think
obviously.
a scoop and score in TLT is the direction you should be leaning if you're bullish. That's the
If you're
point
bullish
I'm
bond,
trying to get at.
if
Yeah.
you're bullish bonds.
If you're bullish risk assets,
Yeah, if you're bullish risk assets.
bonds can't just like collapse lower here. Wouldn't
Well,
be
over the
good.
last 23 years or so, every time TLT is down here, it's been a great buying opportunity. Is this time different?
I don't know. I don't know, JC. Got to see it at this point, right? Because right now that's a breakdown.
Is a breakdown in TLT?
It's breaking through those pivot lows from this year.
The TLT lows are 82.42, and the lows from the last decade or 2 decades ago was down in the low, 80, 81.
Yeah, you're zooming out a lot more than me. I'm just looking at this year.
Well, I'm looking at an all-time chart
No, I
because
know.
these are the
I
all-time
see it.
lows.
Yeah, you got to go back like 20 years, but there's a lot of memory there.
You got to go back longer than that, but yeah. So TLT, as we speak, 83.53. So you're saying that we're breaking down. We are not breaking down. We're still $1 above last year's lows, or the lows from October, I should say. What are you looking at?
What?
I'm looking at the October lows at 82.40. We're still well above that.
In TLT.
Yes,
Well,
the 2023 lows, October 2023
What's
lows.
confusing? I'm looking at 85. You got a low from January and a low from April. What's the problem here? We just broke through it yesterday.
Nobody's saying that there's a quote-unquote problem. You're telling me that it's breaking down when I still see it above support.
Yes, it's breaking to what? New fucking 52-week lows. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
new 52-week lows, but the October 23 lows there's prices of TLT are still above that. They haven't broken down.
2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Great.
Yeah, I understand.
It just broke below its year-to-date support.
Okay.
God.
I just think that there's a lot of support down here. So you're talking about broken support. I just don't see it. Yes, did it break last year's lows? Great.
I was out with a friend last night, big market guy, client of ours. And he said, it's always bonds. I said, yeah, it's always fucking bonds, man. Every time. Bonds.
Yeah.
It's like these bonds, you got to watch these bonds. Always just messing things up. Also, speaking of messing things up, last night, watching the game, everything's going great. Everybody's having a good time. The Wings are fantastic. Everybody's happy. Go home for the fourth quarter. I swear to God, I put on a different basketball game. It was a whole new team out there. What the hell happened?
How do you feel about Reggie Miller being so excited about that comeback? Is that you think that's messed up or you think that's okay?
Dude. I don't even want to talk about it. I hate that. The Pacers to me are like the Eagles. Like just growing up, it was tough having to play against Reggie Miller all the time. But seriously, what a disaster that fourth quarter was. And that guy, what is his name? D. Smith? He doesn't miss. What's up with that? I don't trust that. What do you make 5 3-pointers in 2 minutes? That's not right.
I honestly, I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan, so I don't have like that, that post-traumatic stress disorder that Knicks fans have with Reggie Miller. But
bad.
I will tell you this: I did think it was kind of cool how excited he was for that, and he was like pointing at him. He was like, "Nice, dude." I thought that was okay. I'm okay with that.
Reggie Miller hurt the Heat back in the day too.
Reggie Miller hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially Pacers fans for not winning anything. But that's another story. That's nor here nor there. I don't have any beef with Reggie Miller. He was a hell of a ball player. His sister was really good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like his sister's OG.
Cheryl.
Shout out Cheryl Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was a baller for sure.
Yeah. Dude, he could play.
All right. Knicks will bounce back.
Do we have a one Kenny Glick today?
We do. He's not here just yet. We'll bring him out when he is here in a minute, and then after that, we'll bring on the Red Dog.
Ooh, the Red Dog. I'm thinking maybe we could be looking for a Red Dog reversal here in the TLT, perhaps. I don't know. We're going to talk about the old Red Dog. Let me ask you this, guys. Spencer, I was a little bit out of touch yesterday. Busy, business, a lot of business papers and whatnot. What did I miss? From your standpoint as a man of the people, what do you think I missed that I need to know about? All right, Tony Kornheiser. Look at this guy.
This is great.
Nothing.
The Tony Kornheiser of technical analysis, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Yeah. No, you didn't miss much. And the market didn't go up. That's what happened, right?
That's it. That's all you got for me.
Bitcoin did go up. Stocks went down. Bitcoin went up. I don't know. What is...
And you think that's sustainable for Bitcoin to continue to go up with the stock market not following?
No, but I think you make the bet that stocks follow, not Bitcoin follows down, right?
Got it. So, okay. So what Strazza is saying is that, here, throw up that chart one more time. So what Strazza is saying, slide 1. So what Strazza is saying is that Bitcoin being a leading indicator here for risk assets, not a defensive flight to safety, like some of these macro gloom and doomers might suggest. And in fact, it is the stock market that is going to catch up to Bitcoin. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. I like how what happened to Strazza? Like every day, it's about emerging market currencies. It's about bond markets around the world.
Yesterday it was commodities, and the day before that, right?
Strazza's taking this chief market strategist gig really seriously. I'm into it. I'm not going to lie. I'm into it.
Strazza,
where has this been all these years? I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, funny. So Robert nailed it in the chat. If I sound irritable this morning, he says the reason Steve rightfully cares is that a 5% 10-year blows a hole in his recent speculative growth tilt. That's absolutely right. Right? You got to be careful with these interest rate sensitive areas. I have to watch bonds every day. It matters. They matter so much. Right? Unity Software is not going to blast higher from this coil if interest rates are ripping out here like this. Home builders are going to be completing a top too, and that won't be good for the broader market. So I think, JC, you have to, if you're bullish, if you're leaning bullish here, and like we're talking about, if stocks are going to turn right around and play catch up to Bitcoin here in cryptos, then I think you need TLT to fail this breakdown, scoop and score, and move higher. Like those things are going to happen together. So yeah, fucking bonds, man.
I love it. I love this Strazza. Like, where has this been all my life? This is the Strazza that the world needs.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you. I love how don't go full macro. Don't do it.
Never.
Don't do it. You never go full macro.
No,
all right, bring on Kenny. Let's go.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
There he is, Kenny Glick, the Warlock.
Fuck you want?
How you doing, my man?
I am proving that you cannot stay short.
You got to put your pinky up. Pinky up. With such a little cup that you have there, you have to look how cute that little cup is that you got.
It's an illusion. It's actually a regular sized cup, but yeah.
Oh, it is an illusion. It looks so tiny.
Yeah,
like you have a little espresso.
I have a little tiny head too, large torso. Yeah. What's up?
Talk to me. What's the story this morning? Talk to me about how you can't stay short. Why not?
Okay. Well, yesterday we saw some selling. Okay, we saw some residual selling from the day before. I think it was like 2 days ago. We saw some sellers show up, right? And then we gapped down. And I was telling people, I was like, listen, you don't want to short a gap down, right? You probably want to buy this move. And next thing you know, I was all excited about maybe looking for some shorts yesterday, but the market said, no, you're wrong again. Let's go long. And then suddenly we hit that 523. We had the blow off top and then the rollover. And we got short. We finally made some money shorting. So I came in this morning looking for that kind of action, and I got it. You know, I've been up since about 7 o'clock this morning, and around 7:25, that confirmation of the selling started. So I shorted the market, and it was working, and I'm loving it. And I'm sitting there going, hey, look at me! I called the top of the market, and I'm short. I covered some at 512.50. I'm talking about the Qs, and then we got down to where I thought the danger zone would be. at 510.50, and I'll show you the charts in the room later, guys. But we hit the 510.50, and like a miracle, not only does it become support, we rip, and it becomes a faux show bro. And this is why, my friends, when I say this faux show bro trade is the greatest trade, it's because guys like me and shorts that still think that every stock's going to zero and that shorting is a viable way to make money, they don't learn their lesson. This trade, because the faux show bro, the fake out, shake out, breakout, the reason it happens is that the shorters get encouraged like I was, but at least I'm not a delusional shorter anymore. So when you got to that level, I'm thinking, all right, let's cover some here. And if it starts to rally, I'll cover on the way back up. I'm not thinking we're about to have a full-blown rip in my face, getting stopped out on the way back up. And here it is. So not only did you have a short that worked, the faux show bro is in full motherfucking effect right now, ripping in your face. You cannot short this market. It's unbelievable. It really is. It really is.
So we're up 4 points in about 20 minutes on the cues.
Yeah.
4 points in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. And we're giggling here. I'm like, oh, I'm staying short here. All right, I'm going to stay short as long as it doesn't break over 512.50. Yeah, I don't think it's going to break 512. And it broke 512.50 and I'm out. And that's what's crazy about trading. I mean, that's what the hard part about trading. You could sit here and be really comfortable about what you're doing, and then 5 minutes later, you got to make a decision to save your life. And this is it. Look at this market ripping in not in my face because I got out, but those were my last lots. And I still can't believe what I'm looking at right now. It is just absolutely insane. But to this point, WOLF yesterday, my friends, Wolf. This company basically said, we are going to zero. We are going bankrupt. And yet it faux show broed, and you had a 43% move on the upside on the stock. Talk to me.
What the Wolf? This is not the crypto company. This is the other one, right?
Yeah, the internet was saying this was the next. This
is Wolf Speed.
NVIDIA. Yeah. But the next NVIDIA apparently is NVTS now because NVIDIA just saved the company. You guys see this one? NVTS. One of the only chip stocks I ever lost money on in my life. And it is back today. NVTS.
NVTS?
Yeah. Absolutely insane. This thing
is
was
the next NVIDIA, huh?
Well, I guess they did a deal with NVIDIA that just more or less saved the company. The glutton for punishment that I am, I've shorted.
Wow, the stock's 167% up today. Holy shit.
It was higher. It was higher this morning. I already shorted it and I escaped alive. I shorted some yesterday in the aftermarket. I probably will look for another short at some point today, just like the market. I do think yesterday's action was a little bit of a tell, and we've had a 127-point move on the Q, so some selling is warranted. But damn, my friends, you cannot stay short. You can't. Look at what happened to CoreWeave just now. By the way, CoreWeave, 50 gets you 80, 80 gets you 120. Thank you. I know. It opens up at 120 this morning, tanks 14 points, and I'm thinking, oh, this might be a great opportunity to play a reversal on the short. Now rips 7 points so far since I even looked at it.
This is a bigger company than most people realize. This is a $51 billion company from Livingston, New Jersey. Shout out, Jersey.
Which one? CoreWeave.
CoreWeave.
Yeah, CoreWeave's no joke, but
no, it's big. It's a big software company.
What the funny part was, I think it was on Bloomberg. They had two analysts come on to talk about it when the IPO came out. I've never seen such contradiction. One guy was saying this company does something. I really don't know what they do. But one guy was saying society cannot function without CoreWeave. And the other guy said, this is the most worthless IPO that's come out in the last 10 years. And then he says, next to Palantir. I was like, oh, wait, he hates Palantir? I love CoreWeave then.
Right. If this guy hates Palantir,
yes,
the whole way up, then I love CoreWeave. Yeah, I like your thought. See, Kenny, we're doing this. I want to say one more thing because we're about to bring on Scott Redler. Scott Redler has one of my favorite trades of all time strategies. He calls it the Red Dog Reversal. I got to tell you, the Red Dog Reversal and the Faux Show Bro is the same philosophy.
It's the
We
same.
call them different things. Kenny might be slightly more animated than Mr. Redler. There are some anchored VWAPs involved in the faux show, bro, but the philosophy of the whipsaw and catching people on the wrong side and ripping in the opposite direction, it's the same philosophy. Back in the old days, we used to call these whipsaws. And then all you creative folks like Redler and Kenny come up with all these creative names, you know, and it's a good lesson. These technical analysis words suck.
Yeah.
Like they're just terrible words.
I know all about the Red Dog reversal. I used to work with Redler. What's up, Scotty? Scotty Redler, man.
Bring him on. Bring him on, Redler. Stay hi. Stay on and say hi for a second.
The Red Dog reversal with the VWAP gets you in a little bit sooner than the reversal stage, because his reversal is basically breaking back into the green, or usually breaking that 930 candle, my old reversal. Now that I'm using VWAP exclusively, you're getting into those reversals before I was usually getting into the reversal, which makes me more profitable. But yeah, I love it.
Bring on, Redler. Bring him on. Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
The Red Dog himself.
What's up, Scotty?
He's all red, too. He probably just went out jogging, right? He's doing marathons, this guy.
Dude, this motherfucker's run half a marathon and done 2 like ice plunges before 6 a.m. You know, some meditating. I mean, this guy, what's up, Redler?
He used to go work out at lunch. He's like, so I was like, how do you deal with stress? Usually I go smoke a joint. He's like, I'm going to run a marathon. I'll be right back. See ya.
Dude, talk about overachiever, Redler. I mean,
you make horrible. I make everyone look really bad. I really do,
dude. It's like you do it on purpose. Just make us look
Kenny,
bad.
you were like you were up at 7 o'clock this morning. I'm like 7 o'clock. It's mid-afternoon for me. I've been up since 4:45. That's why you're sleeping in and you're missing your shorts. You only get about 10 seconds to cover your short. Otherwise, you're screwed.
That's it.
By the way, I never heard of the faux show, bro. Like is that your term?
Faux show, this is from the 90s. That's how old I am.
Oh, you know what?
So the faux show, bro, is the fake out, the shake out, and then the breakout. The faux show, bro.
Oh, I get it. I thought you were making fun of me because I don't think I've spoke to what was the guy from who's the guy I got into a big fight with who used to call us the Momentum Monkeys he's the macro guy. He thinks he's the smartest man alive.
We don't talk to those kind of people, Redler.
Who thinks they're the smartest man alive? They're the hedge eye guy.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
No? All right. Well, anyway, so it's funny that, we all have our little fun names because, that term, the Red Dog reversal, used to be the 80-20 rule where, stock closes in the bottom 20% of the range and then makes a low. And then the next day trades below and reclaims it. And we all named it something different. So the Red Dog reversal is a good way, like you said, to figure out, what you have to do, right? SPYs came in a little bit green this morning, and then all of a sudden the TLC started to drop. And then the SPYs had some follow through to yesterday's break below wherever that was at 588. So I think what you said, Kenny, was just, basically you had the low of yesterday, right? The low of yesterday, 511.24. The Qs went below it for about 10 minutes. The SPYs went below the low of yesterday, which was 581.82. And as traders, that's all you know. If you're going to get a day 2 down, you have to stay below day 1 low. So that's always a good battleground. And those type of trades could become better when you have like 3 down days, because it's even more oversold and it's more of a rubber band. It's more faux show bro-ish, where you get that.
Now you're using the terminology. I like what
I learned that. I learned something new.
Faux show bro-ish. It's like an adjective now, right? Faux show bro-ish.
Yeah.
Kenny,
it's faux show broad. No, that's the question. The Red Dog reversal, is it more of a swinger trade, or do you use it intraday? Because for me,
you can use it on all time frames. I use it. I don't call it that, but I recognize it. We call it whipsaws.
I mean, what do you call it?
I mean, I call it a whipsaw, a failed breakdown. This goes back to Brian Shannon. Like, we all doing the same thing. We call it different things, but the Red Dog reversal. And Scott is talking about like on an intraday basis, 2 days, 3 days. Look at weekly candles, monthly candles. You're going to see the same patterns.
Yeah.
All it is telling you who has the active control. So the shorter time frame you use it on is the shorter the control. So you start using daily, weekly, monthlies, then it's bigger term control. So who is controlling the tape at the time? Where where is the rubber match spot? So the rubber match spot usually happens at a prior day's high or a prior day's low. If something's going to have momentum, it's got to get above and stay above a prior day's high and hold there and prove you could add to it for more upside the same way to the downside. So when it loses those levels, it causes a quick little trade where you can make some cash flow. And sometimes it means more, if you're looking for a major inflection point. But major inflection points don't happen every day, every week. They happen, a few times a year. So tactically, it's good to use the daily prior low. And then if you have a few of them in a row, it becomes more important because then you're looking for, something that could last for more than a day or two, depending if it becomes.
I want to say one more thing before we let Kenny go. And Kenny, I
I'll
appreciate
break out.
you being here.
Yeah, let me go. I got to
The
get
best part about this, of all the things that everybody's saying, pay attention, folks. What Redler calls it a red dog reversal, Kenny with the faux show bro, Brian Shannon with the failed breakdowns, from failed moves come fast moves. At the end of the day, the best part of all of this, yes, powerful moves come out of this. But the risk management is so well defined. That's the best part of all of this, because any idiot could buy something that goes up. It's what do you do with the ones that don't do what you think they're going to do that separates the men from the boys. And everything these two are talking about, and Brian Shannon, you should be here too, the risk levels are so well defined. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. That's the best part.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, because the foe and the show basically are your stops. So it's very limited risk. So your risk is defined as soon as you get your trade on. And then, obviously, if it's usually it's a long trade. So, you have unlimited potential with limited risk. That's basically the name of the game.
Yeah. And plus you get a new point of reference. So when it reclaims the prior low, you could buy it there, put a stop, and use a tier system where you put on a lot. It works. You trim some and then you just hold some. And then you might have a bigger trade versus just an active day trade, depending on, how you go about your business.
Very cool.
But like you could say the TLT. I know you guys were talking about the TLT, which is, what will it do today? So if you remember on Monday when we were down big, you had the TLT. I have the chart there if you want to put the chart up. How do you put that? I tried to attach it. But anyway, the TLT, reclaimed 85 on Monday. So 85 was the key, went below, came back above it on Monday. The market reversed. Everyone was saying the end of the world was going to happen because of the Moody's downgrade, but it turned into, a reversal because of the TLT. And then, like you said, Kenny, like on Tuesday, there was some weakness. It felt like the bulls got a little complacent. The sellers got so pissed off that Monday wasn't going to hold to the downside. They're like, I'm never going to short again. And then Tuesday, you saw the weakness. And then yesterday, after the TLT's reclaimed 85, like you said, Jay, you were talking about what'd you miss? What's it called? What happened was yesterday, the auction failed. Rates went up. TLT broke and stayed below 85, and then SPYs broke 588. You put it all together, and boom, 1 to 130 happened, and that was the move. So now today, you could kind of say 83.76 is the low from yesterday in the TLT. So that's kind of the key. And right now, the TLTs are trading 83.66, and we'll see if it could reclaim 83.76. If it does, it'll be hard for the market to go down today. If it stays below, then maybe, the mechanical algo sellers will stay selling. And I was hoping the SPYs would see the Geneva gap, which was like 577-ish, which it still can.
Hold on, I think we're losing Kenny on the bonds in Geneva. Kenny, you can hop, bro. I appreciate you being here.
No, but listen, I want to talk with Redler one more time, but I just want to mention the schmooze is happening tonight. We're having Don Corleone, the Godfather, on the schmooze tonight. So
what's the schmooze? I've never been invited.
Yeah, right out of COVID, we just started getting together. Options expiration Friday, Thursday nights. We used to just booze it up and talk about option expiration and earnings reports. And now,
which Don Corleone? The Don investing?
Christopher. His name's Chris. I forgot his last name, but from some Stock Twits. Yeah, I met him. At the event. Nicest guy. Posts a lot of,
I like it. The
posts a lot of information.
Yeah, you don't invite Redler to schmooze. I don't get invited anymore either.
I haven't seen Redler. Got to be like 5-6 years already, right?
You look good, by the way. You look good.
Thanks, you too, man.
Yeah, you.
All right, we'll do some Pilates. All right, I'll see you guys. I'll see you.
Dude, I remember Redler. I remember being like on CNBC and like waiting to go on. And Redler's like, "Sorry, I'm late, guys. I was doing my spinning class." I'm like, "This fucking guy."
That's when I got into a fight. That's what happened with Fast Money. I got into a fight with Terra Nova. They moved me from midday Fast Money, where I was doing it a lot. I was at core there, and they moved me to to the 5 o'clock show, and then all of a sudden someone was talking about the move that happened at lunch, like, Redler, did you? I'm like, well, I was taking a spin class, and then Terranova was like, so do you wear spandex for your spin classes? I'm like, well, if I wear cotton shorts, what happens, when you're when they get caught. And they started making fun of me with the spin class, and then I went after them, and we went back and forth, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call from the producer, Mary. You're not allowed to go back and forth with the main guys from 5 o'clock. You're just a lunchtime fast money guy. I was like, all right, I'm going on Fox Business. I'll see you guys in a few years. And I think I've been on Fox Business since, like, twice a month with Liz Clayman, and I was done with Fast Money.
Dude, how awesome is Liz Clayman? Can we talk about how cool she is?
She is so cool, and
dude, we gotta get Liz Clayman on the show. We flip it on its head, and we bring some of the journalists and TV people on sometimes. Like, we gotta get Liz Clayman is awesome.
I can help you work on that.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
I just want to tell the folks, guys. Redler and I known each other for a long time.
AC.
Redler was an inspiration to me. Early on in my technical analysis days, you and several others, but you're OG, man. I wouldn't be here, without some of the inspiration I've gotten from you. That's a true story.
I appreciate it. No, we've definitely known each other a long time, and that's why it's hard. It's hard to last in this business. That's why I also, like, some people are like, why'd you create Red Dog Mindset? Because they see that besides being the chief strategic officer of T3, I created this small entity to talk about how, like, I've stayed in this business for 25 years. It's not easy. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. So all the things that I've seen traders do poorly outside the trading day by not having their balance, to have fitness or eat right or go walk the dog or go for a run. It's like all kind of things that help guys, stay in the business. You know what I'm saying? So
Redler's been on the Perlman program since before the Perlman program existed. You know Phil Perlman, Redler, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I love Phil. Before I think, he's great. We're old school. I'm old. I look. Some people are like, Red Dog, you look good though. I'm like, well, I'm in an ice barrel every day. I'm in a sauna every day. I work hard on it, because I want to try and, be around for a bunch more years and figure it out, So
Redler, let's talk about markets here. I'm getting asked a question about when JC will cover his Eli Lilly short. I'm actually not short. True story. I'm not short Eli Lilly. I've been stocking this thing. I've been waiting to see if you want to throw up slide one. Curious your thoughts here, and then we'll get into other markets. But
I'm looking at it.
I see Novo Nordisk getting the crap kicked out of it, and I see Eli Lilly potentially completing this top. So it's something I want to be short. I toy with shorting a breakdown below 700, maybe a bounce back up towards the high 700s, 800 maybe. There's just not a great risk versus reward, or at least there hasn't been for me. Maybe I miss it, and that's okay. That happens. But that's what I'm looking at. So no, I'm not short.
It's kind of like wow, that looks like a huge head and shoulders top pattern, a little sloppy, big channel with a lot of room below. I'm not, by the way, I'm not a good short. Like, I was listening to Kenny. Kenny loves to be short. I'm like usually 80% long, 20% short. Like, I was happy yesterday that I was actually pretty short, and I threaded the needle well from being actively long for multiple weeks and getting a little testy on Monday, Tuesday, and then catching the short. So for me, I would just stay away. But if this thing breaks 700, 724, it could definitely be 620 in a quick New York City minute. So definitely.
I mean, you could put a stop like 765. Like,
yep.
I think it's a little cute. I don't hate it. I don't hate shorting it right here with a stop above 765. Don't hate it. But I'm not in it. I'm not in it. I want to be in it. I've been stocking it. These drugs are killing people. The Economist magazine came out with a cover about the everything drug. I mean, like, check. There's a top 10 company in the world, or was. Man, I think this got short written all over. I'm not in it yet. I've been waiting.
But see, the good thing about you and I is, like, we're strategists. So I'm a strategist and I'm a trader. So just because you're not in it, but you pointed out, doesn't mean whoever follows you can't be in it. So, like, I come up with 40 different charts a day with all these multiple plans, but I'm not in all 40 of them. I might pick 6. So just because I'm not in the mood to be in something else, like, it's just so, like, I do that all the time. Like, a lot of people, like Red Dog, CRWV, which is what kind of is it's up 5 days in a row. It's going to do a Red Dog reversal top today. It's not going to hold 109. And it's going to close 102. I'm like, I said that in my strategy. I'm like, it doesn't hold 109, and you've been short this for a bunch of days. Maybe finally they caught the longs and capitulated the shorts, and you get a trade. Like, well, you're going to do it, Red Dog? I'm like, It depends. Depends how other things are going. Like I'm long Google, I'm trading some other things. I gotta manage my Bitcoin position, but just because you're not doing this short, doesn't mean that someone who fits into their plan, if they have it,
One of our guys, James Domino, he's short the stock. One hole telling me that JC, again, chatting up the trade, but not taking it. I haven't taken it because I'm following the plan, right? So clearly one hole has not read the plan, because why would I put on a trade if that's not what the plan says, right? So you make the plan, you lay it out, and you follow the plan. One hole, love you, brother, but maybe you're not following the plan. I like to follow the plan. What about you, Redler? Do you follow your plan, or do you just do random shit?
No, I follow my plan. I do so, but I do get upset with myself sometimes when I write better than I trade. Like I said, if I have 40 different setups and I take 5 and I miss the 2 that really worked, people, I like when people make money on my plan and I follow my plan, but sometimes there's just not enough time in the day to execute on all of them. So you pick and choose which you want on your A list, which you want on your B list, which you want on your C list. And then you also have to figure out what's easy for you. What do you want to mess with? Like sometimes, I don't trade Meta because Meta is loose and wide and it's a pain in the ass, but when there's a perfect setup, I'll trade Meta or even Netflix. So Netflix, trades by appointment, and everyone lately has been wanting to short it and everyone's getting killed. But yeah, so sometimes I would say if I feel the worst when I don't trade my plan, that's sometimes like I write better than I trade, but when I trade and I write well at the same time and everyone's making money and I'm executing, then I feel like fulfilled. So it's a good thing when that happens, but that doesn't happen all the time. You just have to do versions of it. You also have to celebrate small wins. You're not always going to keep something to your target. Sometimes you keep it a little less and you leave some money on the table. You're allowed to do that also. It's not perfect. It's like progress. Progress equals happiness. Perfection makes you sit on your hands and you're never going to take a trade because you're getting scared because you're waiting for over confirmation.
People are like, well, JC, you missed a trade. It's like, bro, not a day has gone by in the last 22 years where I have not missed a trade, right? Missing a trade is, if you don't miss a trade, like you're crazy. You're trading too much, right?
Well, that's what they say with me with lunchtime. They're like, Red Dog, you missed so much stuff during lunchtime. I'm like, I haven't been at my desk during lunch for 25 years, and that's why I'm still here for 25 years. Sometimes, like the Google event that happened the other day, I stayed at lunch and I was here and I watched the event and they sold the event and I accumulated a lot of calls. It was my biggest winner yesterday, by the way, was Google calls, and I'm still in Google. I like Google moving forward. But at 4:30, I couldn't even think. I'm like, I was at my desk all day and I was a shell of myself. I'm like, I can't do this every day. But anyway, so if you think you're missing something by being away from your desk for an hour, refreshing, so this way you could, complete your day and complete your week and complete your month and sustain your year, you're not missing anything. You're doing what you got to do to sustain your existence in your career. So if you always feel like you're missing something, it's not a good way to go through life. You're going to always be chasing everything.
When we talk about Redler being on the Proman program before the Proman program even existed, this is exactly that. Proman's always talking about the JOMO. It's the joy of missing out. And, you've enjoyed missing out on that lunchtime hour because you've been doing your spin on wearing spandex and whatnot, right? As you alluded to before. The JOMO that you have by missing that lunch hour. Man, it's really powerful, Redler.
Yeah, it's you gotta love your process and love your routine because you're gonna do it every day. So once you get to set your routine and process, if you don't love it, you're not gonna do it, and then you're not gonna think straight, and then you're not gonna execute with confidence. So I know for me, I've used to come back to the office at T3. There was hundreds of traders sitting there. By the time I come back at 1:30, anyone who had a lot of hair have already pulled it out because they're over trading through lunch. And then when the move happens between 2 and 4 o'clock, they're a shell of themselves and they can't even execute because not a lot happens. One thing happens a week at lunchtime, maybe.
Throw up that Google, that slide 1, that Google, just to zoom out. I know Redler's got a little shorter time horizon, but man, when you zoom out, I think that having the direction of the underlying trend at your back is really powerful. Look at that former resistance from the late 2021 highs turning into support over the last year. Now we're kind of in the middle of that range. So what do you have? Just like you have like a trailing stop of some kind. How do you manage this?
So, because we've been in this business, like you said, for so long, I've developed relationships with some analysts. I do a lot more. I treat my 7 accounts like I'm a mini PM. I'm not just a day trader or a swing trader or an option trader or this. Like I try and figure out, how to keep money working or whatnot. So a bunch of guys that I know who are a little bit more sophisticated, like Google's been the most underloved, and it has. It's been on the C list for a while, ever since that gap down that happened on February 4th. But then they're like, listen, like their AI isn't so bad. Their AI is actually making progress. Their search is now losing traction. They're about to accelerate again. So I watched the event on I think it was Tuesday, and I'm like, wow, this stuff looks pretty awesome. And then I actually called an analyst. I'm like, what'd you think? Was like I said, like, this is really good. This is a changer for the narrative of Google. So, being a technician, I know they always try to sell the Apple event, and then the next day meant more. They always try to sell the Fed, and the next day. So I'm like, I'm going to position in some options, and I'll buy the weakness, the 170s, for not this Friday, for next Friday, to give it more time. And then yesterday, 2 analysts came out. Wasn't the analyst I talked to. I don't do anything like that. But and said like this, this could change the narrative. So now I'm going to use my skill set as a technician and price action to see if it starts acting better than the other mega caps and give me a way to trade around position. And then maybe it starts acting better and works its way back into the 180, 190 area if the market gets better. So I try and connect all the dots, because I know a lot about technicals and price action. And I know, I've learned a lot more about fundamentals through the years, because we all have to do a lot more to make money in this market as we compete with all the computers and all the AI. So,
no, I love that you do that, guys. And if you're listening out there, pay attention to this. This is like a pure technician through and through, has been for a long time, making phone calls. I was talking to Dan Ives this morning, for example. You want to talk about 2 people that could not be more different in how they approach markets, myself and Dan Ives. Couldn't be more different.
Oh, God.
And I was talking to him this morning.
Can you get me on with Dan Ives one day? Because I'd like to. I think it'd be funny TV.
Dude, he's the man.
He sometimes he got a little too extra bearish in the belly of the beast, and he started downgrading shit.
Oh, so, I don't read any research that anybody writes. I'm just talking about personally. He's just the man.
Oh, you like the colors?
It's a little much sometimes, but that's, listen, you wear spandex, he wears a lot of colors. I wear a lot of hoodies. Like, I don't, judgment-free zone.
That's true. Listen, I got to go. The opens in 4 minutes.
Do your thing, Redler. Leave us with one more thing. The folks, don't leave them hanging like that. What's one piece of advice to the folks?
Just, like I said before, you have to be prepared. You have to control what you can control. If you control your preparation, when the market's moving, you're ready to execute because you've already done your homework and you've done your work. We also, by the way, doing a webinar today at 1:00. Remember Adam Mesh? Adam Mesh, the average Joe, is a pretty famous trader. If you want to tune in at 1:00, well, I'll be doing it from 1 to 2 o'clock with him. First time in a while, meeting back up with him. So I'll be around then. But I got to go.
I said hello.
Oh yeah, let's do this again. This is fun.
For sure, 100%.
All right, good luck. Later.
Adios. All right, you heard it here first, Spencer. Dan Ives and Scott Redler at the same time.
And Liz Clayman, apparently. So, okay.
Oh, we got to get Liz Clayman on here, too.
We have our work cut out for us.
We have our work cut out for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes Liz doesn't get too excited when I'm doing Charles Payne, He's like, hey, what about me? Remember me? Right? Because, Liz is one of those, there are certain people out there who believed in me in my early days, right? Like, it wasn't everybody, but there's a solid crew out there. Redler's one of them, who, they saw something in me that other people didn't see. Liz Clayman was one of those. So I don't forget. I appreciate that thing.
They saw something in you when the mirror didn't even see something in you. But hey, got to give them credit where credit's due. All right,
hey now
it is 9:27. We're gonna bring on Sean here in a minute or two. Let's just take stock of what's going on this morning. So we have
slide 1, please. There's nothing more important. If fucking Strazza talks about bonds one more time, I'm gonna throw the bonds at him. Throw up slide 1. God damn it, Strazza. This is what we need to be talking about. Give it to him. Give it to him again.
What is it?
Give it to him again.
Chart on.
Come on, guys.
Chart on.
That is not what we want to be looking at. Jesus Christ. Throw up slide 1, please.
There you go. This is what you want? This again?
How are we not talking about this?
We were yesterday. You weren't here for that.
We're so long. We're good on this.
Forget it. Yes, we're long. Everybody's making a lot of money. Yes, terrific. That's not the point. The point is, this is making all-time highs and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
It's just not that important.
It's not that important.
You're the
Wow.
one who comes on here every morning and talks about how the market value of cryptos dwarfs in comparison to the market value of bonds, sir.
The bond
Yeah.
market
So you can't have it both ways.
the
All
bond
right.
market is
I
100 million
feel like
times
I
the
don't even know
size.
you anymore.
Like,
I feel
yeah,
like
those numbers
what
are like
happened to
burnt
the
in my
what
brain.
happened to the chief YOLO officer?
Let me tell
Coming
you.
out here talking about bonds.
How small is the crypto
Dude,
market compared to the
Steve
bond market?
Strazza has said the words Brazilian real more in the last month than his
Oh.
entire life combined.
Oh, it's so good. It's really real out there. Can you throw up my intraday chart? I wrote about Peru yesterday. Did you see that?
Oh, who is this guy?
All right, look. This is why we talk about the VWAP constantly, and we use it to enter and exit trades, and we're just looking at it all day long because you can't make this up. It's just too good. Right, so that's the VWAP anchored from the May highs. It's acted as a ceiling on any little advance that we've seen at the index levels, S&P 500 futures for the past couple of days. And to the people in the chat saying that the 20-year bond auction doesn't matter, I'm not making the rules. This isn't my feelings or my emotions. I'm simply reporting the facts, right? And this has nothing to do with whether you think 20-year bonds are important or not. It's not about you or your feelings about the market. You just look at the market, and the market will tell you. So if you're confused and you disagree with me that the bond auctions are important, pull up an intraday chart, and I have it labeled right here. That was 1 o'clock yesterday. That's when the bond auction happened, and then that's what the stocks did. So it's not like I want that to be the case. I'm just telling you, this is what the market's moving on these days. We're seeing it over and over and over again. If you don't think it's important, I'm sorry. Maybe you don't like making money or protecting your money, but this is what the market's selling off on, left and right.
Can we zoom out, please? Can we just get a little zoom out action?
I zoomed in.
Throw up the
I
slide
zoomed
one.
in. I just zoomed in for you.
No, I know. I appreciate you. I
Mhm.
see what you did there. I like it. No complaints. That was valid. Now that the adults are coming into the room, we are zooming out. This is the U.S. Treasury bond market, right? It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And we're going back 25 years.
Yeah.
So we're still above support. Is my point. That's all.
Long time.
Still above support.
I fully understood the support level that you were referencing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it's a big deal?
Sure, but it just broke support yesterday on a time frame that matters more to me. That's all.
All right. Fair.
But dude, I'll get behind a scoop and score in the bonds here.
Dude, so correct me if I'm wrong. A scoop and score in the bonds is the most bullish thing that can happen to the stock market. Do I have that right?
Right now today, yeah. I'll be YOLO and TMF out here.
What's more bullish for stocks? Bonds rallying or Bitcoin going to 120?
Bonds.
Wow. Wow.
Easy.
More bullish for the stock market. Bonds rallying versus Bitcoin going to 120. Okay.
Look, I don't like what the bonds did yesterday. Not good for the way I'm positioned. That's got to get undone, or my portfolio is going to look differently in the future.
And how do you feel about the tips?
TLT isn't respecting any VWAP on the chart. It's below all of them.
Feels.
What? The tips are fine. The tips are fine. Tips are good for me.
It seems as though they are suggesting that inflation could potentially head higher.
Zoom. Well, that's what rates are saying too, right?
Yeah, that's what rates are saying too. So are we buying energy?
Holler at me, crude oil.
I bought my second energy stock last week. Looking for a third.
JC, I'm more interested in copper right now. I think copper's next. After copper goes, we're going to load the boat on traditional oil and gas stocks. But for right now, if you look at this coil in copper, this is what you call a doji. This is a doji, right? You see this? This is like a serious doji, totally engulfing the range of the past, I don't know, more than a week for the most part, right? Checked out the bottom, checked out the top, and now we're
talking about copper futures.
HG. We're just chilling there. You got a VWAP pinch, drop a VWAP from the April 8th candle, drop another VWAP from the March 26th candle. This thing's about to bust in some direction or another. I'm going to lean in the direction of the underlying trend, think it's going to break out higher. I also am thinking about gold a lot and other precious metals. When I think about this, there's a lot of intermarket evidence there suggesting this base in copper is probably going to resolve higher and not lower. The problem for me, we don't have the best vehicles. We don't have the best vehicles.
Isn't that part of the bullish tailwind?
I hate trading futures, but this is one where it's like, man, just go buy copper futures. Like Freeport McMoran just hasn't been getting it done for me.
SCCO not getting it done.
It's not, dude. You can't buy options in SCCO. There's nothing.
Buenaventura.
So,
Buenaventura's probably the one that's hanging in there the best.
yeah, somebody's reading my notes. BVN looks so good. It's coiled up here. Drop a little VWAP, and you could also drop a VWAP going way, way back to the old all-time highs. We're right there, and you could jump this base, I think, and BVN back to all-time highs this cycle is what I'm feeling. EPU, new highs. Hey, so Alfonso called me yesterday. This was funny. I rushed my note out and I ran out the door. He calls me. I'm in the car, and he goes, "Steve, what are you talking about? Peru is not known for coffee and chocolate."
I've never been to Peru.
I was like, I don't know.
Coffee and
He's like-
chocolate in Peru?
He said they're known for ceviche. I was like, oh,
Ceviche.
yeah, you're right. Don't
Yeah,
they make?
ceviche. They got that Japanese influence down there. These Peruvians do not mess around, man.
So I had Fonz on the phone. I'm like, okay, how about empanadas? No, not that either. He was hard on Peru. He said, no, just ceviche. He said they're
You know,
chocolate.
the Peruvians could be very bougie. If Alfonso's hating on the Peruvians would just shit on all things Venezuela, right?
I got to laugh out of it. We were laughing in the car.
Yeah, the
You
Peruvians.
didn't have any other comments on what I wrote except for, dude, what are you talking about? They don't
Because
have
the Peruvians
good
have that
coffee.
Japanese in them, you know, so that gets them going.
Did you send a correction, Steve? I didn't see a correction come through, so you must not have cared.
Corrected the post.
Chocolate and coffee. What's he thinking,
Just
Fonz?
ceviche,
This
yeah.
guy, what a gringo this guy
I don't
is.
know.
This guy wants to go to Colombia for a month. He's never going to last a minute down
They
there.
have good coffee, though. They have the coffee.
They
Yeah,
got a lot of things down there.
The coca.
They got a lot of things down there. You talk to my boy Walt, he'll hook you up.
I'm not. Listen. A boy can dream. I don't think I'm getting out to Colombia anytime soon.
You're probably better off. If he goes to Medellin, he ain't ever coming back.
I don't think it's still the same. I don't think it's like it was.
That too.
I'm not talking about the drugs, Spencer.
Okay.
All right, guys. We're going to Naples this weekend. That'll be nice.
Oh,
Now that's a place you'll want to leave soon.
the West Coast.
The West Coast of Florida is beautiful. Are we going to get some Sean? I'm gonna hop.
Sending him a message right now. I don't know where he is, which is a shame because he's doing a thing today with Jason Perez. I want to talk about it with him. They're doing a video.
I want to talk about these Eli Lilly put spreads.
They're doing a video with the author of Options for Dummies, and I want to talk to Sean about that. I don't know where he is, so I don't know.
All right, you had your chance. We'll talk to Sean tomorrow. Let's go.
It's a
hop.
fast market, guys. Yeah.
Are we skipping recess?
Yeah, we gotta go.
We'll do a quick recess.
No.
Quick recess. Quick
Go.
Quick recess. All right. I guess I'll go. Everyone's talking about this like Dubai chocolate. It's like going viral all over like social media. That's like the snack of the moment.
So I'm not the only one thinking about chocolate.
So we got some, the wife got some Dubai chocolate. She bought it on Amazon. I guess you could just buy chocolate on Amazon.
So this is chocolate from Dubai.
No, I don't think so. I think not what we bought. The point I'm trying to make is it was not that good. It was just like regular chocolate with some pistachios. It tasted like chocolate. I don't know what it was supposed to taste like.
Spencer eating pistachios. I see you, dog.
I know, right?
Big nut guy.
But
Big
no,
nut guy, Spencer.
I think we must have like cheaped out and got like the bad version of it. Like we didn't get like the real stuff apparently. But
Dubai chocolate, new one for me. Haven't heard.
Yeah, that's what everyone's talking about is Dubai chocolate.
I trust you.
One hole says it's just marketing. Yeah, well, you know what? It got us.
Hershey bar in a Dubai chocolate wrapper.
Yeah, basically. It was like $15 for the chocolate bar. It was crazy.
Paul says, look up Huaca, China. I'm so bullish China. Well, very bullish China.
That's what I got.
I got a shout out I want to give to somebody. Throw up slide 1, please, if you will, my good man. So I just want to give a shout out to Perth Toll.
Yeah.
Launched the Freedom Fund. She's a guest of the show. Friend of the show. We got to get her back. Just hit $1 billion in assets under management. Oh. Shout out Perth. And you know what I love about her is that she said it right here on the show. She said, I built this fund because it had to exist. It had to exist. She's eliminating countries that treat their citizens like shit. So you're not going to find any China in the Freedom Fund. You're going to find a lot of Chile in there. You're going to find some Taiwan in there, Brazil.
Yep.
You're going to find almost no India. You're going to have zero China, zero Saudi Arabia. So the countries that treat their citizens like shit, they're not included in this fund. And what do you know? Since inception, she is destroying all those other funds that include countries that treat their citizens like shit. So shout out, Earth Bowl.
It's not an easy it's not an easy space to operate in either. Frontier markets literally just closed its doors after I don't know how many years. Emerging markets funds are nowhere near all-time highs, right? You go look at Freedom. The chart speaks for itself. It's just steady leadership ever since it's been launched. This one just looks different from the others. So whatever it is, kicking out countries who are bad to their people, well, it's working. It's alpha, is what I say.
Well done, Perth. We're rooting for you. We always have been. Good for you.
Love to see it.
All right, 2:30 today. Sean is going live with Jason Purrs. We're talking to Joe Duarte, the author of Options for Dummies. That'll be right here on the channel, and I'm looking forward to watching that. So that's what's coming up. If you're a member of Breakout Multiplier, you got your weekly video with Steve in like an hour and 20 minutes. So you got that as well. If you're a member of Mackey's Retail Roundup, he'll be doing his weekly video as well. And if you're a member of AAC Crypto, Louis will be doing his thing later today as well. So that's what we got going on. Thank you, Scott Redler. Thank you, Kenny. Oh, we got Sean. He's here.
Nope, he's too late.
Too late.
He's too fucking
I'm out. Adios.
All right.
Sorry, Sean.
Sorry.
End the show.
I can't take no